anybody. I hope you know that. Okay, this is a big deal for you. You think it's a big deal for me. I'm here to speak about Jan as I have such affection for her. There are three things that stand out in my mind and embody many of the characteristics that I love and respect about her. They are her family, her friends, and community. Her family, to which she is totally devoted. They come first regardless of anything. As you all know, she rarely says no to any request. But when she does, you can rest assured it's because of a family event, something very special to her. Jan has settled 2 children, Missy and Zachary, successfully in college, with the help of what have become known as Mondays with Mommies emails. They are epistles filled with words of encouragement, support, advice, and loving lectures. Jerry, her husband, well, he'll tell me that she's killing him. But in reality, they have a beautiful dance together and adore each other. Her sister Sue, Sue's husband Peter, and Jan's nephew Alex, she adores. Always there to celebrate accomplishments and hallmark occasions, supporting and sharing in teenage concerns and successes. And by the way, when you can't get her in the morning, she's on the phone with Sue, checking in to see what Sue's day is going to be like or has been like, and exchanging information about her mom and dad, Gloria and Roland, who live in Florida. Richard, her handsome brother, she'll tell you all, she's got this darling brother, who lives in Florida with his lovely wife Susan and their 3 children, Matthew, Christiana, and Michael, are adored and talked about with pride. With parents who live in another state, it is hard for all of us to stay connected to them. We want to be there to care for them, to be involved in their activities, to take them to lunch and dinner. Well, this is not always the case for Jan, but she stays connected to them through phone calls, trying to be there during special occasions, and conversing with her brother and Sue, exchanging information. This past year, Jan was able to spend January, February, and March in Florida, something that she had longed to want to do, and had a wonderful time. So that's about her family, but what about her friends? She has a plethora of them, and they cross many organizations, and you are many of them here today. Jan's door is always open to them, and there is always an extra place set at her table. Whether it's friends dropping by for a casual cup of coffee, a working meeting, or a workshop for a school event, you can bet there's a fresh pot of hazelnut pie. A beautiful tray with all of the wonderful appointments, fabulous nibbles, and there goes the gavel again. I'm going to leave it there. Appointed with napkins, wonderful nibbles, and always a complimentary word that makes you feel special. She is a generous and gracious hostess. She is genuinely thoughtful of others. She is generous with her time and resources, of which she has many. Coffee pots, spray cans, baskets, the list is never ending. She is the first to ask if she can help or bring something, and when she can't, rest assured it will be there well before her. Her kindnesses are often anonymous. She is straightforward and will often offer an opinion, even though it may not be the most popular. She is tenacious and stubborn when she thinks she is right. She is a team builder. People love being with her because she's fun. She has often said that many hands make for light work. This is something that she attributes to her mother. She calls them Gloria-isms. So she may offer a gentle critique when she thinks you might want to consider other facts or alternatives, as it is done always with kindness and never with malice. So there is support. She is there to support people during good times and bad, and always chooses to look at the glass half full rather than half empty. She is adventuresome, and she is willing to step outside of her comfort zone. There is a quote that I heard, I can't attribute right off the bat, but it goes something like this. A friend is someone who understands your past, believes in your future, and accepts you just the way you are. If feel this is how Jan views all of us. So for community, well, let me tell you, community was not something that Jan just acquired when she came to Weston. She brought that from Florida. It's in her DNA. It just didn't arrive here. Her community involves schools, organizations, institutions, and between fundraising events for Weepsy and Boosters, there have been hundreds of thousands of yards of grosgrain ribbon tied by sure on many of you with beautiful bows around many a napkin. The cans of spray paint in every color that number well into the hundreds of thousands, also for school events, back to school nights, and special occasions, to name only a few. For the athletic department at the Snack Shack, the numbers of hot dogs and hot chocolate could number those sold at a Red Sox game. She is tenacious and wants only the best for the children and her community as well. For the class of 2008, of which Marissa and my daughter graduated, she insisted that there be Chinese lanterns hung at the Hilton Hotel. Well, her father's an engineer, and Jan has acquired some of those characteristics. Tenacious. We are all looking at each other. Probably a dozen umbrellas acquired from all of her friends were lugged into the Hilton Hotel, and when the kids arrived for the prom, there were all these magnificent Chinese lanterns. P.S. We were there to bring them home at midnight. Girl Scouts, another organization that's very dear to Jan's heart. Well, camping out on hardwood floors in the Scout House and platforms at Cedar Hill in the midst of rainstorms is not my idea of a good time. It can bring out the best or the worst in anybody. It brought the best out in us. For me, it was the beginning of a great friendship. We'll get the page turned, don't worry. And then there's the Women's Community League that has been talked about by some previous women here today. An organization, once again, for 19 years, she served tirelessly. But what I see in particular is Jan's ability to bring generations together, respecting and believing that everyone has something helpful and worthwhile to contribute. She was instrumental, as I think was mentioned, in the establishment of Cafe 529, which didn't last particularly long, but was a forum for artisans, both inside and outside of the community, to get together and share each other's company. So family and friends and community, I think we've heard iterated over and over today. She is an important member of the community. And I know there have been words that I've mentioned today that perhaps will resonate with many of you as you are her